Hey guys, so I want to go over how to use the blocks. There's a lot of very novel information out there, so I kind of want to just give some basics and easy ways to make it a little bit more realistic and individualized for you. So for those that don't know me, my name's Fallon Headings. I'm a physical therapist and a track and field performance coach. So let's get started. For the blocks, there's a few different main angles that I look at when somebody gets up in that set position when they're using blocks. Now, the very common way that I hear most people tell their athletes to set up their blocks is go a foot back from the starting line. That's where you're putting your blocks. Then go another foot back for your front foot and another foot back for your back foot. So the problem is a lot of times you have maybe a much taller athlete that doesn't have that might have the same shoe size as a shorter athlete. If you get a person that's 3 to 4 inches different in height but has the same block setup, this is going to screw up all their angles. So really, as much as that's an easy way to kind of start to figure out if that's the right position, for your blocks, it's not the end-all be-all answer. So 3 main things that I want everyone to kind of look at when they start to set up their blocks is 1, when you go to set up your blocks next time, get in the set position and have somebody take a picture. Have somebody take a picture of you from the side so you can analyze yourself just like our little guy right here, okay? So two of the angles are your knee angles from your front and your back leg. So your front leg is going to be your power leg. So that should be, your knee angle should be about 90 degrees. So it should be a right angle right here. Because if it's more than 90 degrees, you're not going to get the most power. So your muscles get the most power when they work in their mid-range, not at end range. So if you're close to a full straight knee here, you're not going to be able to generate as much power off that first step. And then that's going to screw up your angles on your first and second step. So that's the first angle that you want to look at. Your front leg should be about 90 degrees. Then your back leg should be about 120 degrees. And that's going to allow you to get those hips above the shoulders. So you want to make sure that this is at 120, but you really want to make sure the hips are above the shoulders. And you can do that by kind of drawing a dotted line across your picture and making sure that your hips are above your shoulder. The other thing that you want to make sure is your shoulders are above the starting line. So again, you can kind of create a line down from your shoulders, and you should see that you have enough forward lean that your shoulders are above the starting line. Your hands have to be behind the starting line because that's a rule in the track and field world, but your shoulders and your head don't. I know that's a common misconception when I'm first starting to teach athletes blocks that have never done them before. They think nothing can be in front of the line, but really it's just your hands that have to be behind the line. The other thing I always say with the blocks, you can change the angle of these. I always like to leave them at their lowest angle to set this up. And just because if you go to another track and the blocks are a little bit different, the angle might be different, and that might throw everything off for other angles. So I always just say leave this kind of at the lowest angle because that helps all these angles come together a little bit better. Because your shin angle, which we'll get into in more videos, your shin angle to the ground is super important when we start our drive phase. So, and that's really what we're going to be looking at. And when coaches say that they should stay low, that's really what we need to be looking at is the shin angles. So we'll get into that in more videos, but this is kind of just the starting point for blocks. So get your set position right first. You always have to get your set position right first, because if you just start practicing blocks over and over and over again without getting this right first, nothing else after it is going to be right either. Your first step's going to be messed up because your angles are already messed up here. So your first and second step, your angles aren't going to be right there either. So make sure, practice just your set position for a bunch of times until you get this perfected. And this is as close, every time you go up in a set position, you know that your hips are higher than your shoulders are over the line, and your back and front legs are around 90 and 120. So get this perfected first before you start doing actual block starts, okay? That is my go-to about blocks. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Subscribe to my page, comment below, and happy training. See you guys.